Patatas Panaderas is a lesson on simplicity and elegance. Thinly sliced potatoes are baked with minimal ingredients and they create something absolutely magical. Super silky, tender potatoes. And Lan's here, she's going to take us through this dish and show us how to make it.
Bridget, I love this dish because it's so comforting. It's simple, but it's so delicious and it's really easy.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with the potatoes, and I've got Yukon Golds here, 2.5 pounds of them. I'm just gonna slice this. I'm looking for maybe 1/4 inch thick slices. If we were in Spain, we'd probably be using Alavas or Mona Lisas. They're slightly waxy for potatoes. They're not available here, so that's why we're using Yukon Golds. Right into this bowl. Next up, extra virgin olive oil. You want to use a nice one here because there isn't a lot to hide behind. And I'm just adding 1/3 cup.
Something a little fruity, peppery.
Yeah, exactly. Something you'd want to eat on a salad. Now I'll give this a quick toss. Make sure that every single slice is well coated with oil. And that's because when I add the rest of the ingredients, if these pieces are already separated and slicked, I won't have to stir quite as much and work quite as hard to make sure that everything is evenly incorporated. Next up, I've got what looks like a huge amount of salt. I've got 3.5 teaspoons of kosher salt here, and it sounds like a lot, but it's not. Kosher salt isn't as dense as table salt, so you can use more of it. It also doesn't dissolve as quickly, which means that I have time to really toss the salt and potatoes together and make sure that every single slice is evenly seasoned. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And again, just lots of stirring.
I'm actually really glad to see that amount of salt. I think one of the biggest culinary sins ever is under-seasoned potatoes.
Yeah, there's no getting around it. They just need some salt.
That's right.
And they taste so much better for it. What do you think?
I think it looks great.
Awesome. Okay, last set of ingredients. I've got 1 onion here that I'm just gonna slice thinly. And I'd like to slice my onions pole to pole. This is kind of my default onion slice. They don't fall apart as readily when you slice them this way, whereas when you cut them equatorially, if you cut them this way, they're more prone to kind of almost dissolving when there's a long cook involved.
Especially a dish like this where onions really are one of the stars of the show. You should see them in the final dish, so this is great.
So right into the bowl. And last up, just 2 minced garlic cloves. Thank you. It's so nice to have someone clearing up after me.
Wait till you get my bill.
Can I pay in potatoes?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So this looks great. That's it.
Another reason to love this dish.
Right. I'm just going to transfer this to a 13x9 baking dish. Get all that oil in there. And give this a quick mush. Make sure everything is spread out evenly. So this looks great, and we are almost done. Now, I've tried a number of variations of this dish, and some of them contain a little bit of white wine, which I really love, but I'm not adding it yet. It is too soon. Instead, I'm going to cover this tightly with aluminum foil, pop it into a 400-degree oven on the middle rack, and we'll let this go for about 40 minutes until the potatoes are tender when pierced with a knife.
Okay.
I want to make sure that this foil is on really tightly because we haven't added any liquid and the potatoes are going to steam in their own juices, as it were.
Yeah, you think about gratinate potatoes or scallop potatoes, anything like that. There's usually cream, milk, some sort of dairy. Even butter has a little bit of water in there, but you're just using the potato water.
Yep, that's
Perfect. More flavor.
All right, so these are going in that 400 oven for 40 minutes.
Okay.
Thanks.
White wine gives these potatoes bright, tangy flavor, but we found that when to add the wine is key to truly tender potatoes. Cooking potatoes allows their cells to soften and separate, as the pectin that cements them together dissolves. But in an acidic environment, say a winey cooking liquid, those pectin molecules cling to each other and take a long time to separate. As a result, the potatoes can still be firm after an hour of cooking. For this recipe, we hold off on adding the wine and cook the potatoes in a non-acidic environment. This allows the pectin to soften quickly. Only after the potatoes become tender do we add the wine, which imparts bright flavor during the final minutes of cooking. All All right, let me pull that out for you.
Thank you. Okay, so it's been about 40 minutes and we're gonna have a quick peek.
Release the steam.
I know, how great does that smell?
Oh.
Bridget, don't get in there. I just wanna give these a quick poke, and you can see that that knife is just slipping right in, which means they are ready for the wine.
Okay.
I've got a half a cup of a dry white here. You can use anything you would want to drink or serve with these potatoes. I'm just gonna pour it right over the top. And then I'm gonna cover this again because we're not really looking for browning, but I'm not gonna seal it this time so that the moisture can escape.
Gotcha.
And we'll pop this back in the oven, let the potatoes absorb all that liquid. It's gonna take 20 minutes.
We'll come here with those.
Right, can you hear that bubbling?
That's hot.
It is hot. Don't worry, we're not diving in. This looks great. There's not a ton of color on the potatoes, but there is a little on the pan, that's fine. And just about all of the wine is absorbed. What we're seeing here is just the olive oil, which is perfect. We'll give this 10 minutes and then come back and have a taste.
That sounds perfect.
You ready?
I am so ready. 10 minutes.
Right, the longest 10 minutes of your life. Well, maybe. Yeah.
There was that whole childbirth thing, but this is up there.
So silky, so tender. A little bit of that wine sauce. There you go.
Oh, look at these. Imagine if you had cut these any thinner, they would have just fallen apart.
Yeah, they're just perfectly silky and creamy, and I can't wait to dive in.
Me neither. Something you don't often taste in any baked sliced potato recipe is the actual potatoes.
Yeah.
These really taste like potato.
I've got just that little bit of sharpness from the wine, and they're like meltingly tender. It's fantastic.
They're almost oil poached.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Silky. And they're not loaded with ingredients, so you taste every single thing in here.
It also means you can serve them with like everything.
These might be my favorite potato dish ever, and there is a list. And these have walked their way to the top. Spectacular. Thanks, Lan.
Thank you.
Well, if you want to make these beautiful patatas panaderas at home, toss sliced Yukon Gold potatoes with high-quality olive oil. Bake the potatoes under foil until they're nice and tender, and then add the wine near the end of cooking. So from America's Test Kitchen, a side dish that can go with everything and will go with everything from this day forward. Patatas Panaderas. You can get this recipe and all the recipes from this season, along with product reviews and select episodes on our website. That's americastestkitchen.com/TV. So ham, lamb,
Yep.
goes with more potatoes,
Sure. Nice steak.
steak.
Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.